Well, the fashion tech business, Azura Fashion Group, is projecting to see a 200% increase in its revenue year on year to $4.5 million. But more importantly, they want to deal with sustainability along the way. And to take us through how, Azura Fashion CEO Sam Wood joins us now. Sam, great to have you on the show. We were just talking about how fashion is one of the big emitters. I know you see it as, let's say, a pain point, but also a problem to be solved. Tell us a little bit about how you're doing that.
So we were founded in 2019, and we've kind of found that the way of the fashion was really evolving since 2018, when Burberry kind of got done for burning stock, rather than basically letting it kind of go at a discounted price to kind of keep that high level there. So since then, we've been basically allowing brands to sell through Azura Fashion Group their off-season products and past-season products, and we've had some great traction from that. But in the last 6 months, really, we've really found that it's pre-loved fashion, so second-hand fashion, that's really taken a kind of an uptick, and we're really focusing on that now, where we're actually all our returns that are coming in, we're actually classifying as secondhand or pre-loved, so we can actually move them as well in a lot faster way as well, and also liquidate all our returns. But by also renting out our returns, we're giving another life to these products, so kind of as a second life, and really generating this whole circular fashion model.
About it previously on the show as being fashion's dirty secret, just how much clothing after being produced, and you just think about all the effort that goes into this and it ends up on the tip unworn. How much do you think you can have an impact in this space? And you're talking about how the revenue has doubled and there seems to be a really favourable response. Do you think that people who love and are invested in fashion are really starting to change their thinking in this space?
Definitely, and it's definitely the change of the new market as well. I guess the millennials are the ones that are really driving this, and we've already seen in the US that it's really taken off. The pre-loved or the thrift shopping has kind of doubled in growth, and we're looking at the way that the market's kind of accelerating there, whilst fast fashion is kind of on the decline or staying steady. The whole pre-loved and secondhand fashion is almost at 11 times what it used to be. So in the next 5 years, I think that in the next 5 years, the global secondhand market is meant to hit 77 billion. So it's definitely being led by consumers, and the millennials really driving that. They're saying they're wanting to really kind of go out there with a conscious a brand that's more interested in kind of how these items are going out, not just the one-offs. But also it's about how brands can really tap into this market as well. And I guess that's what we've built Azura to do. It's not just to kind of target, obviously go out there and say we're a circular fashion company, which we are, but it's also going out there and enabling other brands and boutiques to become circular by going to them and saying, we'll move all your returns that have come back that you would normally go to landfill, and we'll actually, one, give you a source of income from it, but also go out there and rent them out to consumers. So get consumers to rent them from us, or would actually sell them as pre-loved, or would sell them in other markets where they would not normally be.
Now, Sam, tell us a little bit about your virtual campaign, because I think you've got about 4 days to run on expressions of interest before it opens to investors. What are your ambitions?
So the ambitions with that is I guess why we chose crowdfunding in the first place was to really drive kind of a community around our business. Because we're going down that whole circular fashion economy market, we wanted to have investors that have come along the ride from day one, and to kind of be our brand ambassadors by going out there and spreading the whole circular fashion message. But what we're trying to achieve with the funds after the raise is to really ramp up this circular fashion model, is to create an opportunity where customers can come to us and actually sell their secondhand bags or clothing back to us. And then we can then relist those onto marketplaces such as Vestiaire Collective, which is the largest pre-loved marketplace in the world. So it's really just for growth now. We've kind of cemented the business. We now go to brands and we sell their off-season stock, their past season, and now it's the pre-love season as well. So it's really about really extending our Azura's reach, but also the growth market.
As someone who's still wearing his 20-year-old fashion, I suppose I'm not quite the primary market, but the astonishing thing is, I think you make the point that the figure in the second-hand market is set to double in the next 5 years to $77 billion. Where do you see Azura fitting into this?
Where we see us fitting in is really targeting one, the boutiques. So getting more and more Australian boutiques, but the US boutiques and Europe boutiques, and getting them to kind of get into that market. So the consumers are already there. This is what the consumers want. It's now getting the brands there as well. So Azura Fashion Group has just launched Azura Reborn, which is our new website, which will launch actually this week. And that basically people can go on there and purchase pre-loved fashion, but also sell back their items they've already bought in the past, and we'll buy them for them. But also it's getting more and more products into the ecosystem and getting out of the landfill and recycling them through marketplaces such as Vestiaire, but also other platforms around the world where most retailers in Australia wouldn't look.
Sam Wood, great to have you on the show today. We wish you all the best with the virtual campaign. People can, of course, find more out about it on virtual.com. All the best with the raise.
Thank you very much.